Brunell from the shotgun. Steps up deep. Looking for Santana Moss. He's there. He catches it. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Take the lead.
It's Rivalry Week, Commanders family. That's right, we've got a road trip to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And the legend, Logan Paulson, takes us behind enemy lines to break down the Cowboys offense. Then, the crew dives into how we can find success against the Cowboys on both sides of the ball. And finally, we've got the Cowboy Killer on deck for a Tana takeover. All that and more right now on Command Center. Welcome into the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. This is Command Center, and I'm here with the best guys in the world, Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss, the mouth of the South, Fred Smoot, and of course, the legend, Logan Paulson. We are coming off of a tough game on primetime, fellas. Monday Night Football did not go our way against the Chicago Bears. Tana, we were there doing pregame and postgame. Man, how'd you feel about the game?
I heard it. I heard it a little.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think our team fought hard and they played competitively. And to have the game right here in your hands and to let it slip away, man, it hurts. But at the same time, like I said before, when you see your team playing and knowing the conditions and knowing the circumstances, you still feel good about, what they've been displaying because they're not that far off. And we done had so much go wrong already this year with injuries and just with your quarterback being out for 2 weeks, a lot of key guys now on the field. So when you see them still go out there with that effort, man, it gives you high hopes.
Pain. Have you had pains in your life that just really, the subtle, small pains in life?
Yeah.
Stump your toe. Stump your toe, you just can't.
It's like a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Pain.
Single tears was like Denzel and Glory. We've all been there because it's one thing. Tana knows this, Logan knows this. If you beat us 40-0, we ain't have a chance. Our game plan didn't work. Yeah. We didn't give enough effort. We didn't have a chance. We can take that. Yeah. But when we give you a game that we feel like we know we're supposed to win this game, pain.
Yeah, it hurts.
I mean, I know Fred's doing a bit, but I kind of agree with Fred here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like like the stub the toe thing, or like you're carrying your food from the cafeteria and you just drop it.
Yeah.
Like, I have no one to blame but myself.
Pain.
And it's so close, but it feels so far away, and that's the most frustrating thing about that loss. So
yeah, okay.
Such a deflating feeling.
Can I say mine's over since they want to?
Yeah, go ahead. What you got? Tana said, "Watch me act right now."
With it. He went out like he auditioning for a movie.
No. He went like I got a migraine this big.
I want to get in on it.
So, Fred, since you in such an active spirit, we do have to turn the page, man. It's the start of back-to-back road trip. We're taking on the Dallas Cowboys. We know how those NFC East battles goes. We're going to talk a lot about that later. How can we turn the page and find success in Dallas?
First of all, you got to have a memory of a brick wall. That means it doesn't exist. All right, that's behind you. You can't burn the film, but you got to also understand we got to learn from our lessons, and not just learn from our lessons, but apply what we learned to our lessons to the next game.
And we're gonna be talking about a lot of that in this show. We got to get this win over the Dallas Cowboys. Tana, you look impressed.
I didn't know a brick wall could say all that.
Now, we all know Dallas is a team head coach Dan Quinn is very familiar with. The Cowboys are looking to get back into the win column after a Week 6 loss to the Carolina Panthers. Dallas, led by first-year head coach Brian Schottenheimer, enters this NFC East matchup with 2 wins, 3 losses, and a tie on the season. Now, the Dallas defense sits at the bottom of the league in almost every statistical category, including average yards per game and passing yards per game. But on the flip side, the Cowboys offense, led by quarterback Dak Prescott, is atop the league in passing yards per game and scoring. Prescott has thrown for over 1,600 passing yards already and 13 touchdowns. Now, our guy, the legend Logan Paulson, dived more into this Cowboys offense during Logan's film breakdown show. This is your best seat in the house, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek, take it away, Lo.
Their offensive line is struggling, but they're not giving up a lot of sacks. And one of the reasons they're not giving up a lot of sacks is their offensive coordinator is doing a great job with quick game, with keepers, with screens. I can't show you all those things right now, but we're going to start with something very simple, and it's going to be a keeper. So first off, let's look at the offensive line. Let's just let it go. Check it out. Some people call this a boot, right? Where the quarterback play action fakes and then leaves the pocket. Let's talk about why this is important for this team, because the offensive line is struggling. This is an easy down for me. This is, I think this is 3rd and 6, right? Talk about just de-leveraging this group. Look at the offensive line. They're going to run to the right. The defensive linemen are all going to kind of follow suit. They're going to kind of all play across, like they've got their run fits, they're going to play that direction. You've made it super easy for the pass protection. Look at the quarterback. There's nobody in his face. I got clear vision down the field. The defense is distributing appropriately, and then Dak's able to get the throw out.
Shout out to our guy Logan and his film breakdown show. You can catch that on the Commanders YouTube page. Now our Commanders defense will be put to the test yet again in Week 7 when they take on Dallas. The Commanders defensive front has been bringing the pressure this season with 18 sacks, including 8 sacks in just the last 2 games. I had the chance to catch up with defensive tackle Johnny Newton on Next Man Up and asked him what's going right this season with our defensive line. This is your Can't Miss Moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. What's it been like this year, man, being a year 2 guy? Because rookie things, people give you a little bit of grace as a rookie, but now you're in year 2. But every single person I've talked to, I had Deron and Javon on this show, they both showed you a lot of love and just are amazed at how fast you came along, because it's not easy to bounce back from an injury like you did.
Yeah, for sure. Payne, that's my big brother. Like you said, we've been kicking it since last year together. He's been showing me the way, how to do it. In a way, I want to say he took me under his wing. I'm next behind him, and in the game, whenever I mess up or whenever I do good, he'll show me what I could do better. Because, he got that vet experience. He done been there already. He know what to do. He be calling out the plays before they happen. So, Deron just a real vet-savvy guy. Mook Dog, Ken Law.
Yeah, Ken Law.
Mook Dog. Mook Dog about the same. He done been there. He done win against a lot of these O-linemen we done win against. So, he be breaking it down. I'll give a shout out to Sheldon Day as well. Sheldon, that's my guy. We work pre-game, every game. We work pre-practice, every practice, just piecing the little details to help me get better. So all those guys, really, all the D tackles, we help each other to crisp our game up because we want to be the best in the league.
Always great catching up with Johnny Newton. You can catch our full sit-down interview on this week's Next Man Up, coming out on Friday on the Commanders YouTube page or the audio wherever you get your podcast. Now, let's get back into this matchup by taking a look at the matchup numbers for these 2 teams. You see they match up pretty close, but Washington has a fair lead when it comes to rushing yards, but Dallas has a lead when it comes to passing yards. Now, let's send it over to the rest of the Booth Review crew for more on the top 5 things to watch during this NFC East rivalry game. It's time for Top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890.
Thanks. Here we are on the set of the Booth Review, which you can listen to or watch after every game. Hopefully a win against the Cowboys London. Let's check out 5 things that we think are going to be very important against Dallas. And let's start with Dak Prescott. London, he is red hot this year.
Red hot is an understatement, the way he's been playing. If the Cowboys had a better record, you could say Dak Prescott would be in the MVP race, but that's one thing we got to do is we got to stop Dak Prescott.
And slow down the passing game. We don't know about CD Lamb yet and whether he's going to play coming off of his ankle injury, but George Pickens has had a big start to his career in Dallas, and if they have both of them, I think our DBs against those wide receivers, it's going to be a heck of a test.
Yes, and George Pickens, he was the number 1 receiver with the Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of fell out of favor with them. But in Dallas, as you mentioned, having a great start to his career, he's put up some phenomenal numbers. And also, they got a tight end in Ferguson that we have to deal with as well. Those they got weapons in Dallas at the perimeter position, so we'll definitely be challenged stopping them in the passing game.
Washington has given up a lot of big plays. A lot's been made of that, but often it's been to high athletic tight ends and really good athletic out of the backfield running backs. Javonte Williams hasn't been used a lot like that in Dallas, but could be a danger. But Ferguson has. So I think they need to focus in on what's the matchup with Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, that's the key. And a lot of it's really about just making sure we're keyed in on our details, especially if whether it's a fire zone, we're bringing a 5th man on the pass rush and playing kind of zone coverage, making sure we know who's responsible for him down the seams. And there will be times where we play a lot of man-to-man. It might be a safety who has that call. It might be a linebacker that has that call to defend him. Understanding the technique, understanding what his strengths and weaknesses are, and then going out and trying to get it done.
The other side of the ball, Washington would like to revive the run game after a rough night against the Bears, who really stacked the box. I don't know whether you think, can Dallas replicate what the Bears were doing against Washington?
I'm sure they'll probably try some version of that, and then we'll have to prove that, hey, we've made our adjustments to what the Bears were doing against us in terms of the run game. I'm very confident in this staff of getting those things corrected because we were the best in the National Football League rushing the football for a reason. We make great adjustments. We'll get those things cleaned up that need to be cleaned up. And I'm not sure that the Cowboys will look to be as aggressive as the Bears were on Monday night.
Coming into the Bears game, Bill had the highest yards per carry and highest yards after contact of any running back in the NFL. So looking like the Hogs again, like bring back the good old days against that Dallas defense for sure.
Especially when you think about the rivalry. How great would it be we just see a bunch of our signature counter trade plays where and Bill is able to get going and rushing like he had in some of the best games that he had, mainly like the Chargers game where he had his first 100-yard rushing attack. But we'll be challenged, and I'm sure the Cowboys will come in hoping that they can replicate what the Bears did against, but I like our chances.
I like our chances too. All right, let's end with the thing that hasn't been happening on the road. Starting fast, both sides of the ball. How do they get that done in Dallas?
Yeah, that's the key right there. It's going to be first from an offensive standpoint. We got to win first and second downs, and by winning first and second downs, staying ahead of the chains, putting yourselves in third and shorts type of situation. I feel like living in third and 4 or less, and ideally even third and 3 or less, to allow you to move the chains, convert third downs. You don't want to have negative yardage plays or plays that put you behind the chains where all of a sudden you're looking at a 3rd and 7+ where they can kind of tee off on you, try to get some exotic blitzes, things like that. So that's first of all from a standpoint of starting fast, protecting the football, defensively, not giving up those explosive plays and tackling well. Those are things that we have to do to start faster.
That's what we're looking for. We'll react to all of it on the Booth Review on Monday as we send it back to you.
Shout out to our radio crew, the voices of the Commanders. Now here's how you can tune into them and the rest of our content for this week. Of course, kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. You can watch the game on Fox, but before the game, make sure you tune into the Commanders YouTube, Facebook, and X for Command Center Game Day Live. That's at 3 p.m. right from the sidelines out in Dallas. And then during the game, of course, you can listen to the best NFL broadcast crew in the nation. That's on Big 100 or on El Zone.
It's time for Securing the W, presented by Hercules Fence. Security in every job.
Fellas, we are headed to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Now, we know about their defense, right? Ranks almost at the bottom of every statistical category in the league. However, we know every given Sunday. How can our Commanders take advantage of this defense, Logan, and make up for that loss that we just suffered?
Well, it's an Eberflus-led defense. They like to run a lot of cover 3. They're going to play a little bit more zone than most teams. And when you look at teams that again, like the LA Chargers, for example, play a lot of zone coverage. Jaden Daniels has a great feel for kind of manipulating zones. Cliff also, in terms of pass concept distribution, does a great job. The other thing is they traded Micah Parsons, and there's been no pass rush to kind of come and step in. Yeah. So you can throw the football on them because they can't rush. You can run the football on them because their front isn't very stout. Now, any given Sunday, like you said, I'm not trying to just write them off. Yeah. But again, they have issues kind of fundamentally from a personnel standpoint and schematically that makes it hard for them to support each other.
And they've also struggled to get any type of pass rush, like you said, since Micah Parsons, Fred. And we saw Jaden. He's been hit a few times since playing. Got a really bad hit last game. How do we keep him from getting touched against the Cowboys?
Well, the thing about it, is Cliff can do that a couple of ways. He can do that with a play call, with scheme. The game flow, I think, is what it is. Getting him outside the pocket with quarterback waggles, with play action. There's just so many ways you can get him on the outside without making him be a running threat, but making him seem like he is a running threat. And he talked about it. When it comes to the Cowboys defense, they're not tackling well. They're not playing the scheme well. They're not covering. That's what shocks me about these corners. Because you're talking about 2 legit corners out there with Diggs and Bland, and they're just either not feeling the scheme that they're being asked to do, or they're just not leaning on their technique when they get in trouble. But it's some leaks back there.
And Tana, to Fred's point, we've talked about it a lot during Command Center Game Day Live about those other guys stepping up. We've seen Luke only needs one catch to get busy, right? Like he makes those impact plays even very quickly. How can he do that against this secondary, like Fred said, that's kind of struggling?
I mean, we've been saying it so much. It's the next guy up. And it's, as cliche as it sounds, it's the truth. You're in the National Football League. When you have a uniform on, you're privileged to be a part of that team. It's a privilege to go out there and be a part of that starting core, or if you're in the rotation. Any guy out there should be knowing that they're a play or 2 or a catch away from making a play. And so I think every receiver's looking for that opportunity, and that's why they're out there on the field. one of those guys is going to step up because one of those guys is going to have to make a play that changed the outcome of the game.
Yeah, and think about it. With Terry missing these games, it gave Jalen Lane time to get out there and get his feet wet.
His confidence up too.
Yeah. Luke McCaffrey, once he made that first one and he seen it go over the gate, he's been out the gate. I think he's leading the league in kickoff return yards right now. He's getting in the end zone every other game. But so opportunity is what you get when people get injured.
Yeah. And Logan, when you flip on the other side of the ball, right, for the Cowboys offense, as bad as they are on defense, they have been exceptional on offense. Dak, I think, only been sacked 7 times this season. How can we get after the quarterback against the Dallas Cowboys because he is having himself a season?
If you know, I'm sure they're looking for suggestions. Because the rest of the league's
here to ask the question.
The rest of the league's having a hard time with it. And so what I will say is, like, Dak is playing absolutely out of his head right there at the moment. Like, he's seeing it well. Schottenheimer's done a great job. The new offensive coordinator there, they're speaking the quarterback language. They're giving him easy throws. He's confident. He's making plays off schedule. He's making plays in the context of the offense. Like, when you say, how should a quarterback play? It's how Dak Prescott's playing right now. And so one of the reasons that the offensive line, which has not played very well, looks so good is because he's absolutely dealing. So I would say, like, manage the explosive plays as much as you can. Try to make him, like, see ghosts, like, second guess what he's looking at. But it's going to be tough, man. He's playing about as good as anybody in the NFL.
And Fred, I'm expecting a breakout game from a former Cowboy in Dorrance Armstrong, who has just been money this season. Top 5 in the NFL in sacks. I don't think he's given enough credit for that. But you got to imagine a team that he was just chomping at the bit to play for. Didn't really give him the playing time he needed. He has something to prove.
Well, I know this will go over your head because you're a little young, but he's the Rodney Dangerfield of defensive end.
You love this bit. You love this bit.
Rodney rolling over in his bed.
I'm just saying because he gets no respect. Like when people say, give me some of the top pass rushers in the league, Dorrance Armstrong's name never comes up.
And
so he's the forgotten man that can just continuously plays consistent. Like sometimes consistent ain't rewarded. It's not rewarded sometimes, but it's appreciated by your team. You know how it is when you see your ex. I got to introduce you to my new girl.
You know how
and my new girl, Washington Commanders, looking good over here. So, yes, he wants to one-up Jerry. He wants to let me know it's a mistake. That's in every player. Every player has that fire inside him when somebody say, either I don't appreciate what you do, you're not good enough to do it on my team. What is Tana about the bus ride?
Ain't nothing better than pulling up with that new thing, but
what he talking about?
And Tana, we
Fred always talking about something new.
I ain't seen you with nothing new yet. Tana, we are going to move forward because we have to mention CeeDee Lamb. We do not know if he's going to play or not. However, we know how this NFC East thing goes. Them guys get ready to play us. And if we see CeeDee Lamb, how can we slow a guy like that down, especially with Pickens on the other side?
I'm thinking right now, how can we do that? No, I mean, he's one of those guys, man, but I think you can do it in coverage. I think one of the things that stood out to me about last week's performance from my defense, even though some of those guys made plays and caught passes, when you get after the quarterback, you know, like they did a couple of times at Caleb, you make him get off one of those guys that he want to throw the ball
it changes everything
or get off his target. So we're going to have to find some ways to, coverage, make sure that we're not leaving guys one-on-one, or if a guy is one-on-one, do your job. Do what you got to do. But I think one of the things that we can do is disguise some things, be in coverage a few times, get some of those looks where we can get out to Dak and hope for the best. Because even though Dak has been getting after, he's been getting that ball out of his hands, man, and probably with some of the best of them.
When you worried, man, just lean on Jesus.
Pray. Just pray, baby. That's what we're going to do. We cannot wait to see our Commanders take on the Dallas Cowboys. It's time for your winning numbers, brought to you by Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. Now our Commanders defense is ready to put the pressure on Dak Prescott and this Dallas offense. Let's take a look at some of the defensive leaders for the Commanders. The ageless wonder, Bobby Wagner, 65 tackles, which is second in the NFL. Then we have Dorrance Armstrong with 5.5 sacks. That puts him at 5th in the NFL. And then, of course, Mikey Sanders, so leading the way for takeaways for our squad with 2 interceptions. And speaking of defensive players, we're going to send it over to our guy, Sean Springs, on what makes this Dallas and Washington rivalry so special.
My best memory is I come over to Washington our first year, week 2 is Coach Gibbs. He's back against Coach Parcells. Monday night.
Legendary coaches.
Man, it was like
they took it back to the 80s.
They took it back to the 80s. It was like the Super Bowl, man. We might have had 100 cameras. I had never seen anything like that. Parcells versus Gibbs. And that was a Monday night game, and it was early in the year, and it was just incredible. And I grew up watching it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I had never experienced anything like the city of Washington hate the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So that stuck in my mind as probably one of the most like games. I was just like, wow. And obviously the 2 touchdown game where you killed him was like, as a teammate, that was the best feeling I've ever had.
Shout out to my guy, Sean Springs. You can catch him every Saturday on the Emmy-nominated Players Club, streaming on the Commanders' YouTube page. Now let's take a closer look at this rivalry between these 2 NFC East foes. Now the Cowboys do lead the series. However, Washington has won both playoff meetings. In our last matchup on January 5th, 2025, the Commanders got the dub, 23-19. Now somebody that knows a little bit about getting the best of the Dallas Cowboys is my guy, the Cowboy Killer. It's time for Too Good, presented by Campbell's Chunky. Soup that eats like a meal. And somebody that was always too good was our guy, Mr. 8 to the 9. We all remember the Monday Night Miracle, and my boy put up some major numbers. 5 catches for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. We all remember it. We all love him for it. So let's give my boy, the Cowboy Killer, the stage. Tana, whether you like it or not, you are the Cowboy Killer around these parts. So to end the show, we got to get it from you. Which weapons on our offense need to be Cowboy Killers against Dallas?
I think offensively, man, and first of all, let me mention, I'm pleased to be the Cowboy.
Good.
You know what I mean? I wear that proudly. All right. Fred try to take it from me so often.
Every day.
But check it. So offensively, and what I'm looking for guys, you don't have to go out there and feel like you have to rise to the occasion, because it's just another football game. Mm-hmm. But there are going to be times that you're going to be asked to go over and beyond. And when I mean go over and beyond, you need to do just that. So offensively, I want number one on my list to rise to the occasion, Zach Ertz.
Oh, Mr. Zachary.
I think one of the things that we know right now going into this game, wide receiver wise, when we looking at receivers, we looking at Debo, we looking at Luke, and then they forget about Zach in the middle.
They do forget about him.
So I want Zach to be one of those guys to show them, remind them, y'all must have forgot.
Listen,
Dude,
the guy just
that was so good.
Yeah,
That was
listen,
really good.
I thought it was kind of Al Pacino-ish. I don't know. I was ready to take off and run for these 5 yards.
You inspired Tana with your hello moment.
Fred said, yes, coach. And I was like, yeah, yes, coach.
Okay. That is things we need to see. Zach Ertz going to be a big part of it, but our entire offense is a huge part of it. We can't wait to see y'all on Dallas. Me and the Cowboy Killer and Brian Mitchell will be on the sideline in enemy territory for Command Center Game Day Live. Then right after the game, we will be giving you Command Center post-game live. And during the game, we got you covered too. Logan Paulson, London Fletcher, and Bran Weinstein will be calling the game. The best radio crew in the NFL. And I'm here with the best Commanders crew in the NFL. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr. here with Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss, the mouth of the South, Fred Snoop, and the legend, Logan Paulson. You know you can catch us every Thursday on the Commanders YouTube page. We out this thing. See y'all in Dallas. Command Center was filmed at Big Bear AI Command Center Studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.